Hello, this is my testimony on how I won the Elumelu Foundation grant and how you too can. It will be my joy that so many persons watch this video, listen to me, and got the business grants they need to build their businesses into empires, into global businesses, into impact businesses. Now, this is my story simply. Few years ago, I have just finished my 5-year volunteering experience with the World Bank in over 60 schools in Lagos State. And I discovered a major gap in the learning process of our educational system. Children were just learning in the classrooms, not empowered with practical experiences of what they were learning, not given any other opportunity or any other way to learn what they are learning in the classroom. So they just come, sit and learn, which still obtains today. I saw that gap. Children were not thinking, no room for thinking and all that. And then I went, sat back, thought, and I came up with a product, came up with a service around that product. Actually, we design subject-based board games that enable children to learn their core subjects like English, like maths, like recycling as you have now, life skills, leadership skills and all that. So we actually put it in our educational board games. So a child who is playing the game will learn English, learn maths, learn calculation, learn basic science, but they are also having fun. They are doing things by themselves. They are thinking and solving a lot of problems. So when I came up with the product, I asked myself, how do I go? What do I even know? Do I know how to build a business? Do I know how to go now? Which way? And indeed, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to go. I didn't even know how the product in my mind will become a product. It was just an idea. It was just an idea, but I shared it with one or two persons. Okay, you know how people are so unsupportive sometimes, so people didn't really see what I saw, but the only person that was there that understood what I have done with the children, even over the volunteering 5-year period, was my husband. And you know, he kept encouraging, just take it slowly. When we are able to put up some money, and then you can build this into a product and all that. But something happened one day, and he went out. While he was coming in, he saw a Business Day newspaper, and he bought the Business Day newspaper. He likes to read, both online and everything. So he was just going through the Business Day newspaper, and then he saw the Elumelu Foundation program adverts, and that they are giving grants to businesses or even ideas. In fact, they put it boldly, ideas that are worthwhile, ideas that the owners know that could result to great businesses. And my husband said, wow, okay, come and see this and check it out. And when I came, I looked through it. I said, wow, is there anything like this? People just give people money without asking for something in return. And he said that's the process, that this man, which is Tony Elumelu, has put a process in place to be able to reward people who have ideas and can build Africa. And so that was it. I applied, you know. And while I was filling the form, I kept running to my husband to help me with one or two things. But he kept saying something. He said, this business is yours. You know, what is in your mind? What is in your mind? And I said, this is what is in my mind. He will say, write it down. And then there are some that I feel he will look at it and he will say, is this really what you mean here? So he gave his minimal guide, but I love the fact that he kept telling me what is in your mind, that it is how I believe in what is in my mind, it is how I believe in the solution I am bringing that will make somebody else to read what I'm feeling and can feel what I'm feeling, and then will give me money to build the business. And there's another thing he asked me, which was surprising. He said, you've drawn these things out on a paper? I said, yes. You used it during when we were running programs for children during the holidays? I said, yes. I actually tested to make sure that these are real products. He said, wow, that's your asset. So someone, I'm already telling you what to do. You know, say, wow, that's your asset. Why don't you tell them that you have used the manuscript of this to actually coach children and people paid you for it? So I said, whoa, this makes sense. And it made more sense when I got to the angle of how much have you made? which is in the form, how much have you made? I don't know if they're asking, I've not looked at this year's form, but I checked the last year, I checked everywhere, it's always showing, even as an idea, they want to know how much have you made. So in essence, as an idea, when they're asking you how much have you made, you may not have made money, but if you have used this, your idea somewhere to produce something, tell them, you know. So I now said, when they came to how much have you made, I said, so it means that you write down what I have made with the idea, even though the product. He said, yes, put it down. And to be sincere with you then, I ran a program for children all through the 6 weeks of holiday. I was running leadership skills, soft skills, you know, different skills that were helping children. And I brought in the manuscripts of the games, and I told them I have extra games that will help the children to learn in a fun way. Even they can take the manuscripts home. And people paid me. I got about 10 families that paid me 25,000 naira each. That was 250,000. And he said, you make big money. How many businesses are making this money in this time? Put it down. I said, are you sure? He said, put it down. So now, after putting it down, I just filled, you know, I remembered most of the things I filled because I saved it, you know. So sometimes I actually go there to look at it and all that. And I now filled it. I didn't lie. I just said what the assets I have. I'm coming to how you will use your asset. What is your asset? What is it that, even as an idea-based business, this is what is working for you? Or even if you're an existing business, this is what is working for you. And so I filled it. And I think for some time, I can't remember how long it took and all that, he bought another paper, because my mind has even gone off there. I wasn't, as at that time, I wasn't checking my email every time, but he bought another paper. So they published, I knew that they told us around the time they would release the winners. So they published the names of the winners again on the newspaper. So I think around that time he remembered and bought another paper. When he brought it, he said, all this long list, 1,000 persons, this one is giving them $5,000. Oh my goodness. He was shocked. So I said, I'm sure that my name is not there, but let me even go through. I now went through, I saw my name. The building did not contain me that day. That was the day I knew that, apart from my husband, who actually believed, like I testified one time, that maybe he didn't want to have issues in his marriage. But Tony Elumelu Foundation believed in the vision I carry, has made that vision possible till date, has made that vision to give birth to other beautiful, powerful visions in the educational industry, even personally to my own personal goal and visions. The Tony Elumelu Foundation made it possible. And anywhere I stand, I remain grateful to them for making TAW Academy a reality. For making TAW Academy currently today, we have impacted thousands of children, hundreds of schools, you know, because of that seed that they gave to us. So apart from that, I have to deviate to be grateful to those who needed to be appreciated. So what can you, after listening to my story, how can you best position your business in filling the application form so that you, like I have done, will win this grant and also use it for your business? I am emphasizing use it for your business, because some people win grants and they divert it to other purposes. Use it for your business. And I tell you, one of the reasons why you need to use the money for your business is that there are so many benefits. Apart from you building your business, I will talk about that in another video I'm going to make. So maybe you look out for that video. Now, how can you best position yourself to win the TEF grant? In the story I have just told you now, a lot is already contained in that story of what I'm about to tell you now. So, but remember that these are generic principles that apply to every other business, what I did generically. And remember that some sectors are specific, and there are some things that you may need to put in those sectors if you're in that sector and you're feeling for that sector. But I am giving you generically what I did to win this grant. Now, what's your story? What's your story? So when my husband kept telling me, what's your vision, how can you communicate it, I just got the idea of what's my story. What story am I trying to tell these people so that they will see what is inside of me, believe me, and give me money to make that story a reality. So what's your story? And in that story, it has to do with why. What is the purpose of your business? Why? Why do you want to do this business? Please don't make the mistake of carrying a lot of business and jumbling together and giving to Tony Elumelu Foundation. You will confuse them. What is your one business that you're doing? You can have one business producing many products. It's fine. In mine already, when I was giving them, I gave them almost about 3 products and about 2 services. But everything was revolving around one business. But don't go and carry different. You're doing traveling, you're doing real estate, you're doing merchandise. You jumble them into one and give, except you're doing e-commerce, which anybody knows that e-commerce works that way. But if not, please don't confuse those that are reading your grant. That's the beginning of failure. Don't even do it. So why? What's the purpose of your business? What's the core? What do you want? Why do you think that this business should be done and require somebody to put down the money? That's the core, the purpose. Now what is your product? What is going to be your product? What is going to be your solution? What, again, is what is the problem that you are solving? What? In my own, I told them that schools just sit, the children just sit back for hours. They don't have anything that trigger their thinking. How can we raise children who don't use their minds? They just sit and watch and somebody dumps something on them. You just raise graduates that are incapable, that are non-productive. So I was able to capture these things. And then at home, people are looking for ways to get their children to be engaged in the phone and also learning at the same time. Why they have the time to do something, and not everybody wants their children to sit before the television. So you see how I captured my problem. So what problem are you solving? What is the solution you're bringing? Those are your what's. And then how will you give people this solution? What's your process? One of the things that we went through in the program during the Tony Elumelu, when I've already won the grant, they will train you for 3 months or for some time. They gave us the business model canvas and made sure that we get acquainted with it. That's one particular page that will show you the value of your business, what of your business, how you intend to serve the customers, the channel you want to use. It is one sheet, but it captures a lot. How do you want to give people this solution that you're talking about? How? And I just told them we want to capture it as board games. That's simple, the solution simply. And then we'll have some programs, we do trainings for schools and all that, also built around the educational board games. So that's it. Just tell them, how do you want to serve people this solution? And it is easy for people to receive it and solve their pain points. Then who are you? Why should we give you this money? Tell us who you are. So this is the point where you can boldly sell yourself. I tell you the truth, everything about winning grants, everything about winning investors has to do with how you sell yourself. How are you going to sell yourself in a manner that somebody sees you and say, I will drop money here. In fact, I will even give you much more. So who are you? What's your core? In fact, there's one tagline that they said, who are you? Tell us in 50 words, who are you? So how will you answer that question? I think my own, I called my name and I told them that I love to impact people. And I told them too that I love it when people use their mentality to solve problems, and I'm a people person. Meaning I want to bring out the best in people. I don't know how I captured it, but this is basically what I told them. So there's a 50-word tagline. When you introduce who you are, they're looking at that. Because if somebody tells you, just tell me who you are in one sentence, what are you going to say? Investors don't have time. They are going to go through thousands, hundreds of thousands of applications. So your tagline, the first thing you say is your capture point. So don't minimize it. Honestly, don't minimize it. So who are you? What are your skills? There will be a time when you're going to go into all this. What are your skills? What have you done? What are you doing? Those things form who you are, who will manage the business. And now let me tell you the truth. They are also looking at your leadership skills. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead anyone, and you can't lead any business. So how will you bring out that you have led before? How will you bring that out that you have led before, or you're leading every day? It doesn't even matter in the context. People think that leadership is about title. No, you don't need to hold title. There are things, responsibility, service, doing things, volunteering. And by the way, please, I just have to chip in this. I'm a proponent of volunteering. If you know, you have to build up a lot of pedigree to be able to win grants. And apart from that, if you want to impact people, that's the major reason why I volunteer, and I tell people to volunteer. Volunteering, what have you done? Who are you? So this actually, they zoom in on this particularly. And then when is, what are your plans? I'm just going to capture your plans. What do you want to do? If we give you this money, what are the timelines that you have to produce something that can make us to actually give you this money that you want to use? What are your plans? Now I come in, I've already spoken about pain points. What are the pain points you want to solve? You must clearly state it in a simple, understandable form, the problem you are solving. It must not be one. I listed up to 5 problems. I remember. So you can list up to 2, 3, and if it's only one problem you're solving, absolutely no problem. But it must be simple, it must be concise, it must be quickly understood. And then who are your target market? Who do you think will buy from you? Because if you don't have any market, why will somebody give you money? And sometimes people shortchange themselves and they will just say, this is my only market. Meanwhile, the market is huge. It's only for you to think or pay someone who will take you through a strategy session and open your eyes to these things. You get it? So who are your target markets? They asked us who and who buy from you. And then solution that you are bringing. What is this solution? How are you sure that this solution will work? My own, by the time my husband spoke to me, I said, I have used it on children before and the parents are happy. I have the testimonials from these parents showing that they are very happy. They take back the task from these board games and they take it home and the parents see it and they actually appreciate an innovative way for children to study on their own, mind you. So they are taking initiative, they are taking responsibility. It's not just from the teacher, one way learning from the teacher to the children and then they write exams. No, this time it is 2 ways. It's even that the child is now taking the responsibility and it makes the child to grow up taking responsibility and becoming more productive. You get it? So I was able to push my solution to them, and then what makes you different? This is another unique selling proposition. What makes you different? Because for every solution you are coming up with, there are many people doing it. For me, I had that advantage because then we only had chess, we only had Scrabble, we only had, what is it now? All those games, snake and ladder. But none of them actually captures the real subjects like English, maths, in a way that the child has a solid foundation of these things and is still thinking and solving problems. So I am combining a whole lot. So this is what I told them, that I am different because I'm helping children to learn and at the same time think, come up with a lot of solutions, and they are solving problems, a lot of problems, developing leadership skills, team bonding by working with others, strategic thinking, decision making, a whole lot happening all in one board. So that was my unique selling proposition. What's your unique selling proposition? If you're selling Zobo, what is the difference between you selling, what's the difference between your Zobo and the next person on the street? It may be that they're using the same thing you're using. Now, what will be your unique selling proposition may be the process through which you give it to your customers. Maybe your selling or delivery process, fast delivery. It may be in your pricing. It may be in you think of something, you need to come up with something innovative. Unique selling points and propositions usually come up with a lot of innovations on the side of the business owner. Otherwise, what you're doing, if you check and dig deep, you find out that a lot of persons are already doing it. So why will I give you money when I even know that so many persons? I think even my husband asked me that question, that when people already know chess, how can you come and compete with chess? I told him that I'm not competing with chess because I have my market. People who already have chess, they will buy my products. That's what I told you, and it's happening exactly. People who already have chess Scrabble, they buy Chewa, they buy Mindo, they buy Nondigo, they buy Mile, they buy a whole lot. Schools buying, they already have chess, they are buying. So that's it for you. People who already know, for example, pig, and you're making milk, why should they come for yours? This is what the Elumelu Foundation wants to hear from you, and then they give you money. Because it's what you tell them that is true, and they are finding a way to confirm now that they will use to know if you are investment ready and worthy. That's it. I hope I've dealt very, very well with it. And now, I'm going to give you these secrets for those who are who have only ideas for now. Your major thing is going to be your assets. What are your assets? What are your assets? What are your assets? Now, if you have an idea, like me, I only had an idea. It is true that I didn't even know that I've tested the product. When I've tested it, apart from somebody prompting me and pushing me to, have you not tested this product? I had only an idea. I wanted to solve the problem of just laying back and learning for the children when their minds can actually be triggered to be coming up with solutions while they are learning at the same time. Do you understand it? So what's your assets? What's your assets? Now, one of the assets I used during my time was my volunteering for 5 years. For 5 whole years, I was a World Bank volunteer teacher, life skills actually, coaching children on life skills. For 5 years, I coached between 60,000 and 80,000 children. I visited about 60 schools. And this is where I saw the gap. And remember, while I was doing these things for 5 years, I was building connections. I was making some network moves. I was meeting people. In fact, I got so close then to the senior special assistant on education in Lagos State, and then I was attending some programs on education, meeting people, building networks. Those were my assets, major assets. So when I was filling the form, and then my husband would push me down. What is it you have? The product is not there, but there's something you have that will make these people to trust you. Use your assets. Talk about your assets. Don't minimize it. The experiences you have in that industry, the connections you have in that industry, the networks you have built in that industry. Have you worked for about 10 years? In what you're doing, it may not be connected, but you may bring it as an asset that I have been disciplined, I have leadership skills that will be used to run this business. If I have led in this department, I can lead my business. It's your asset. Leadership skills, the experiences you have, your background. It can be what you studied in school. It's an asset. So I'm telling you now, in case you say you have an idea business, you have many assets to push yourself. So the Elumelu Foundation, they are very smart. They know that some people may not actually have produced their products because of funds, but that these people are capable to lead great businesses. I tell you, out of Elumelu Foundation have come global giant-based businesses that if you hear about some of them, you will shudder and say, is it $5,000? The $5,000 propped us, pushed us up, launched us out. TEF grant is what gave me a business. I will say it anytime, anyway. It gave me a business. It started us off. And today, so many other investors can look at us and say we are putting money down. And by the way, we still need investors. We are growing bigger and bigger. We need investors. In case you're an investor watching this, we still need investment to be able to launch out in wider markets. So what are your assets? And then if you already have your business, what are people saying about your product? It's your asset, your testimonial. Why are you hiding them? It's not to be, I'm not a proponent of going to be hounding people, please give me reviews, please, if you don't give me reviews. No, you should have a good way to ask people to review your product and they willingly do it. You can put a bonus system. It can even be a relative and they will willingly do it for you. Your testimonials are your assets. They are your assets. Your experiences are your assets. People's your customer user-friendly experiences are your assets. Don't use them. Any opportunity you see in that form, talk about it. And during your pitching sessions, because there's a pitching session, during your pitching session, talk about it. Don't even minimize it at all. Bring your asset. It is what validates your business. It is what validates that you're rendering a solution. I think apart from that now, and then why do you need the money? Don't go and say we need the money now because we need to build our business. You will itemize what you want to use that money for. Let me tell you the truth. This is a cop-out. Any investor that comes and see that you're using one point to shroud how you want to use that money, they are not fools. They will just believe you want to cut away the money and go and use it. No, you have to itemize in detail. I told them, this is the quantity of the board games that we want to produce with this money. They are prototypes, actually. This is the quantity that we are doing for prototypes. These are the schools we're going to give some to, and these are the ones we want to sell. The production will cost us this. The marketing cost will cost us this. I itemize everything purely stated out. What do you want to use the money for? And when do you want to use this money? Is it in 6 months' time? Is it immediately? I actually used some part of the money to register my business. And I told them then that so amount of money, I made a research. Don't just go out and be using inflated figures to be just doing. You have to do your research. Excuse me. I asked a lawyer that how much is it to register a business. He told me, I put it down. I made some marketing costs, then Facebook ads, and then some marketing costs. I costed it was so amount, I put it down. So by the time you do all this work and have a clear sheet, when they look at it, they know that this one is serious now for his or her business, and they will give you that money. I want to believe that what I have given to you can empower you to get the Tony Elumelu Foundation grant. And let me tell you the truth, it is one of the best grant programs in Africa. I'm not saying this, they didn't pay me, they did not ask me to say this. Why? They are sector agnostic. They are for all sectors, whatever. If you rear rabbits, if you clean floors and you think that will bring money, if it is that you are flying to space and this is how you will make money, whatever. And also, they don't have a cap for age. So even if you're 70, during our own time, I saw a man who was it 60 something? I said, or was it, I can't remember, but the man said, this one is even here with us. I was just screaming. The ladies that were with me were laughing. I said, what is this man doing with a business? I said to the Elumelu Foundation, you people are so open, you people are so, I don't know what to describe them as. So they don't have an age limit, say you're this age, so you're cut off. So once you have, what they are zooming in is, what is the solution you're bringing to Africa? What is the problem you're going to solve for Africa? And if you convince them that indeed you can, and that idea or that product can solve these problems, they will give you the money. I wish you all the best, and I thank you for listening. Thank you very much, and bye.